Where would any in-depth look at production be without talking about lighting and sound design? I won't promise that this video is entertaining, but I will say it'll cover ground I don't think any other RWBY video has. And if a video like this already exists, so well. Let's start with lighting in order to finish off this honest look at RWBY's visuals. Lighting is the most important and tedious thing to get right in any form of photography. Lighting dictates what the audience can and can't see. It can highlight certain things in the frame, control the audience's eyes, set a mood, or if you really want to pull in Orson Welles, it can have a deeper thematic subtext. RWBY doesn't do anything special, and when it does, it falls flat on its face. I'd go as far to say that the lighting has done more to make the animation look bad than any of the movement. Okay, maybe that's taking it too far, but RWBY's lighting is always either flat or ambient. The first two volumes were extremely flat. Shadows were virtually non-existent. Tree leaves were just blocks of solid green where light didn't shine, yet it didn't block the light either. And the only difference between daytime and nighttime is what color the sky was. Volume 3 did a lot to add more ambient light into scenes, and it did so horribly. It's like RoosterTeeth doesn't let the animators outside. Damn near every single strand of light and cast shadow is a lie. And this isn't just a RWBY problem. First scene of RWBY Volume 3. This scene is supposed to be set at dawn. RWBY is visiting her mother's grave before the fight. You have all these heavy shadows and sunbeams coming from the tree line, and then the camera pans up to show that RWBY has been looking in the direction of the sun the entire time. How do you mess this up? And it's somehow even worse with the home video release. In the YouTube version, Ty shows up as a 2D cutout because his model wasn't done in time. For the updated version, you know, like the ones you have to pay for, they put his model in and don't adjust any of the lighting on his model. I'm more willing to forgive this with volumes 3 and 4. Volume 3 was the first time they tried having this kind of ambient lighting, and Volume 4 switched engines. And in this series' defense, it's gotten a lot better. It still fumbles around a lot, but at least the shadows no longer go towards the light source. So as far as visuals go, not taking any writing or sound into consideration, this is how I would rank the volumes. Volume 6 would be at the top. I think they nailed all the scenes they needed to. It's still far from being on par with even mid-tier anime, but at least they didn't fuck up any of the visuals. Next would actually be Volume 5. Ugliest thing about it is the flat cinematography and teleportation issues. Then I'd probably go with Volume 2. There's nothing ugly about it, and it was an improvement over Volume 1, but still left a lot to be desired. Then I'd go with Volume 4. It has a lot of animation issues, but they were definitely stretching their wings and getting used to the new engine. Volume 1 would be second worst. It's ugly more times than not, with wonky animation, flat lighting, and stilted camera angles, plus the shadow people create a weird disconnect that's not present in any other volume. And then at the bottom is Volume 3 with inexcusably bad lighting, animation that is more times than not worse than other volumes, and an over-reliance on poorly composited 2D assets. Now to briefly talk about sound design, and if you're wondering why I'm smashing this and lighting into the same video, well, on top of aiding animation, if I didn't do this, these videos would be like 2.5 minutes each. So sound design is really just the noise, sound effects. It doesn't mean how well they're implemented, that would be sound mixing, and it also doesn't denote voice acting or music, as those are the subjects of their own upcoming honest looks. So as far as raw sound design, RWBY is actually pretty damn good. There's the odd stock sound effect, but for the most part, all the sounds are unique. Crescent Rose's transformation sound is different from anything else. All the weapons make little sounds that are special. Gunfire hits hard on the ears. I love sound design that I can feel, and RWBY delivers on that. One place I wish they would do better is, once again, the Grim. The new Clavi is the only one whose screeches I like. Footsteps and other general Foley sounds don't do as well. It's not awful, it's just generic. While I'm on the subject of sound, I'm going to talk about two different scenes that do something completely different with sound. The new Clavi fight and the Battle of Haven have several scenes that cut away from the action. I'm going to play a few seconds from both and see if you can spot the difference.
Young man, I don't know who you are or what you think you're doing.
Did you catch that? I'll play a bit more.
Let go! Nora! They're going to get hurt if we don't.
I'm starting to remember you. You're the dense one that can't tell when he's out of his league.
Volume 4 actually has background noises. The Battle of Haven doesn't. Sound isn't thought about much, but it goes a long way into making everything feel full and natural. The Battle of Haven would be a lot less retarded if all these fights didn't magically stop existing when they're not on screen. And you can't even blame the animators on that one. That goes fully on the sound guys and once again, Carrie, the director, whose job it is to make sure everyone else is doing their job. I don't really have a way to end this video, so I'll just end by saying that a lot goes into the basics of a production, and a lot of that stuff are the things most people don't even pay attention to. I'm Mediocrity4. The next Honest Look will be a rundown of the voice acting.